further to the Common Police Court. You've been indicted, and
for what?
murder.
Okay, but what evidence? There's nothing.
There's things called circumstantial evidence.
Okay.
And there's a lot of, and me and you've already talked about the circumstantial evidence. The red flags, that's circumstantial evidence.
Okay, but I have nothing to do with her death or disappearance or any of that, so.
This is John Carter. He's about to get away with murder. On August 14th, 2011, 22-year-old Katelyn Markham disappeared from her home in Fairfield, Ohio. She simply vanished. The last person to see her alive? Her fiancé, John Carter.
My fiance is missing. I can't find her anywhere.
Where was she at midnight last night when you left?
She was at her house. She was going to bed. She wasn't going out to do anything, so she would have been in her bed. And I mean, I've been with her for 6 years. She's not deceiving, you know. She doesn't.
Okay, and you guys didn't have an argument or anything?
Not at all.
2 years later, Katelyn's remains were found wrapped in a tarp, abandoned in a creek in Indiana, 30 miles from home. Her cause of death? Undetermined. But the manner of death was ruled a homicide. For 12 years, John sat through 7 interrogations. He failed polygraph tests. He failed voice stress analysis. Witnesses saw his car at the crime scene with its lights turned off in the middle of the night. But there was no physical evidence, no DNA, no murder weapon, no confession, just circumstantial evidence, and a man who kept changing his story.
I had nothing to do with her. Do you need me to say that? Because I did not do anything to her, to kill her.
I think that's the first time I ever heard you say that.
I did not kill her. I did not murder her. I did not take her.
Inconsistent stories you've been giving them, being the police department, the media, and everybody else since 2011, it's come to a point now to where no one's believing the story.
In 2023, a grand jury finally indicted John Carter for murder. Watch as John refuses to take a polygraph, contradicts himself at every turn, and sits calmly while detectives confront him with evidence he can't explain. See the moment he gets arrested, 12 years after Katelyn disappeared. And at the end of this video, you'll see the sentence he received and hear why Katelyn's family says justice was never served. This is the interrogation of John Carter, a man who's about to learn that 12 years of lies are finally catching up to him. Let's see what happens.
This is Tom Baxter.
Hi, John. How are you?
Nice to meet you.
Come on in over here. I got you a chair right over there.
John, you want water in the cat or anything?
Water will be fine.
Okay, all right, let me grab you. You guys want anything?
No, I'm all right.
You what?
I'm all right.
All right, let me grab my water.
How's it going?
I mean,
Busy time of the year.
Yeah, I mean, like I was just telling her, I got a lot of stuff going on. You know, I have to go to this funeral on Sunday, and then I just got a new job at Miami Oxford.
Oh, did you? Doing what?
And maintenance for their power plants at their campus.
What's your status right now? I mean, you got a girlfriend or anything?
I do have a girlfriend now.
What's her name?
Her name is Kayla. We met about a year and a half ago.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a degree where this kind of thing happens. I feel like, you know, there's no book, there's no proper way of handling it.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So the way I feel is, can I kind of explain to you
Sure.
what happened after the fact?
Sure.
So after the fact, I fell apart. I was in my house for months.
Depression?
Yeah, very intensely so. I didn't eat for 2 weeks after. My mom finally got me a quarter pounder, and we were doing one of the searches, and I sat on the side of this hill and was just like, I'm gonna put it in. I'm just gonna see what happens. And I started eating, and then actually I really started eating. Like, I devoured the thing. But it was just like, you know, as I'm falling apart and everything around me seems to be completely ridiculous, I get to a point of the lowest low. And there was a particular instance where I'm driving down Pleasant right here. This is Pleasant.
Okay.
Millis is right here.
Uh-huh.
I was driving down there, and I got to a point where I was ready to go. Like I didn't want to be here. So I gotta be completely honest with you. Mm-hmm. I drive across Millis, and what I assume to be a drunk driver or somebody just going really fast, going about 50 or something like that, blows through the red light, blows right behind me, and I remember that at a certain point, I guess instinctually or something, I gassed it, like I went faster, and I instinctually pulled myself out of it, and it kind of clicked in my head, like I want to live, like I want to be alive, I want to exist in this world, and with or without her, I'm still here. And after that, I got to a point where it was just like I need to focus on making my life better and focus on, just kind of maintaining a degree of okay.
Did you go on any searches with them?
I went on some search parties. I did the first few, like I did every one I could. Mm-hmm. And then I went, and then Texas EquiSearch came in and I started doing those, and then they started telling me that I couldn't because I'm sorry, give me a second.
That's fine.
Because if I found anything, then it would be horrible, and they didn't want me to do that.
So they suggested
that I stop searching. I didn't feel comfortable putting up the flyers because I had a lot of trouble. Every time I saw her picture, I would just cry because I missed her so much, and I couldn't do the flyers, so I had to do something.
This excuse doesn't add up. John claims he couldn't search for Katelyn because seeing her picture made him cry. But according to witnesses, he was out with friends, laughing and acting normal, just days after she disappeared. Katelyn's family said John cut all contact with them after her body was found. If you truly love someone who went missing, would you avoid searching for them?
I'm sorry, man.
That's fine. Let's move up. You heard that her body was found.
Yeah.
What was going through your mind then?
I didn't want to cry in front of the ironically, in front of the police officers, so I tried to keep myself, but I was with my mom when they told me, so I confided in my mom more than anybody. Mm-hmm. So I went to her, and I fell apart again. And a few days later, I fell apart in front of Kayla, and I did not want to do that. Mm-hmm. And by falling apart, I mean I literally fall to my knees and I can't move, I can't feel. So I focused on myself. I couldn't. I know that sounds selfish. I don't know. I feel really bad about that, but I focused on myself and I tried to make myself better so that I could be okay. And I'm sorry, man.
That's fine. That's fine. Have you been over to where she was found?
No, I don't want to go there. I didn't want to even acknowledge the day she went missing this year because I don't want to remember her for that. I don't want to go to that place and be like, oh, this is where she died. That's wonderful. Like, why would I want to see that? Why would I care about that? Like, I just want to remember her birthday, and I want to remember the good things. Mm-hmm. I don't want to remember that. I don't want to know anything about that except for the fact that whoever did this is not here. That whoever did this is either dead or in jail or...
Do you know are you familiar with the area where they found her?
My dad has property in Laurel, mm-hmm. which you can take, because I know that it's on 129 or off 129 or something.
121.
121? Okay, that's the one that leads you to Batesville and stuff, right? Or not Batesville, but starts with B.
Batesville.
It is Batesville, okay. Yeah, and my dad would go that way occasionally, but usually, you know, because he lives in Ross, he takes a totally different way. But I do know, and my dog was bought right off that road by a family, their last name Masters.
Would you be interested in, as far as your involvement, or I should say participation with regard to an investigation, to once and for all be done with it?
What do you mean?
Well, I'm not asking you to erase your memories of someone that you loved, but I'm asking you, you're here today as a result of police investigating something.
Mm-hmm.
You ready to be done with that?
I would like the person who did this to be caught. That is what I want. I don't want to just be done. There's a part of me that, you know, just like, I just don't want to come here anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to talk about this situation anymore. But this is what I have to do to find out who did this. And this is important to me. And that's why I'm here. That's why I'm talking to you guys. I know from before what these are like, what these conversations are like. I know what I have to go through for this shit. And I'm sorry, pardon my language.
Don't worry about it.
But I'm here and I'm doing this and I'm talking to you guys about this and I'm taking all this in because I need to find out who did this so that I can actually go out and live a life.
I know you've taken a polygraph before.
Yeah, and I really would prefer not to.
Okay, let me things are a little bit different. Okay, with them, like I said, this was the disappearance. And I can tell you, we do it ourselves. We don't send you to the FBI. We do it
They came here. I mean,
right, but
they did it 2 more times. I've been through it 3 times, man. I
think what you did take was a voice analysis.
2 of them were voice stress analysis.
Right.
One of them was a polygraph. And I'm gonna be completely upfront with you. They're bullshit. And the reason why I believe that they're bullshit is because they kept telling me that I was being dishonest, and I sat there and told them the truth. Okay. And I'm not going to go through that again, man. I'm not going to do that. I'm telling you everything that I know. And I'm telling you that this is the truth. And that thing does not tell you what the truth is. I have, you know, the whole storyline that I told you, and the fact that it's corroborated. Call all the people involved. All of it is corroborated. This is what I did. They looked at my computer and looked to see if I was watching shows, I'm assuming. They, you know, looked at my records. They looked into everything. Like, the whole point was to find out what I was doing at that time. And I'm here to tell you what I was doing at that time. That story is not going to change. Those words are not going to change. I'm not going to say anything different. I don't have anything different. I'm telling you the exact series of events that occurred. Again, the polygraph does not tell you anything. It's not going to give you anything. It's not going to help you with this investigation because it has already said that I was being dishonest. I felt defeated. I felt like I kept telling them everything that I know, and they just kept coming at me with, well, we know it was a mistake, so you can just go ahead and fess up now. Like, no, I didn't do anything to her. I would never. Okay, I was with her for 6 years of my life, my entire life. Like, that was my beginning of my adult life. And it went away like that. And it was taken from me. I did not do anything. I did not touch her. I would never hurt her. I would never physically do anything to give her pain. And accident or otherwise, I would not be here had it not been for this.
Understand something. You don't need to be defensive right now.
I'm currently being defensive because I don't want to do this polygraph so bad.
Let me
I'm
say
sorry.
this to you.
If you guys want to go through anything, if you need anything else, you know, I'm sorry for bringing it up again, but anything else other than this polygraph thing, I'll give you whatever you need. And I, you know, like I said, keep digging, and you know, maybe when I'm in my job and I don't have to be so nervous about that on top of this, on top of that, on top of this, maybe I'll feel more comfortable coming in and doing a polygraph. But like I said, at this particular moment, I'm just not comfortable with it.
Date today is February 15th, 2023, approximately 1:26 p.m. in the afternoon. Investigator Paul Newton and Investigator Mike Regal. We are sitting here with John Carter. John voluntarily came in this afternoon to speak with us.
Again, John, how you been? Doing all right? Seen you after the pumpkin fest, like I was telling you, seen you demonstrating how to blow glass.
Yeah. I
Is that-
teach it. I was just at work.
Was you?
Yeah.
So what you do full time now?
Yeah.
Sounds like fun. Well, I think I've seen one of your other videos. That was one of your passions. You wanted to start doing something more creative, and there was something that kind of led you was the glass blowing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Like I told you over the phone, there's just a few things we want to go with you with. Like I said, this investigation is coming to a close on the prosecutor side of it. You know that Fairfield PD was investigating it. The sheriff's office investigated it. I think maybe you have talked once before. And there's just a few things that I still want to get your thoughts and your feelings on a few things. I know we're kind of texting your memory. It's going to be almost 12 years here shortly. But there again, we're not trying to drudge up any bad feelings.
And that's really all this is to me. Like, and I'm not saying that it's all that what you're doing is to me. It's just that that's kind of my tension right now. It's just coming back to this again. Yeah. Right.
But there's times where I think I have a better handle now on. I got to talk to some people who were in your, I guess your core group of people, and they told me some. I asked each person to give me a story about Katelyn, and each one had a different story. It was something that was how she touched their lives, which was really kind of cool because each person told me something that no one else knew.
Right.
Which was kind of cool.
Yeah.
It really was. And I have a better perspective of how she was as a person. Okay, that being said, let's go back just briefly to when you were at the festival that night. You and Katelyn on that Friday night. Okay. You guys go to the festival. Your thoughts on you and prior, I'm going to go back and forth when it comes to some of the statements you've given in the past. You still feel, and your thoughts and your feelings deep down, you still feel that person who had done this was an unknown person, maybe that was kind of like you said, stalking, or I think your words were suspicious person that may have back in the day.
I mean, honestly, because I can't wrap my head around it being something like that.
Really?
That's really what it comes.
We're not here to.
Yeah, I know, and you got to understand.
That's why
this is all just reminding me.
Right.
And it's a lot. It's just a lot. Sorry.
Dude, no need to apologize. It really isn't.
It's a traumatic experience.
Yeah, I mean, you've been through a lot. You and your whole family has. And her, and don't get me wrong. Her family.
She has.
Your whole.
It was her that died. It was her.
Yeah.
It wasn't me. And I feel guilty. She died. She doesn't get to live her life anymore. It's not fair.
No, it's not.
It's not
You know, that's one thing I've got from everybody who I've talked to, and like I said, I have a better understanding of Katelyn was, she lit up everybody's life for the positive. And she is no longer here to do that anymore. Like I said, like I told you over the phone, it would be different if she'd had a car accident. You can kind of move on because it was an accident. This here was, this was purposeful.
But I mean, on top of all of it, it just ropes me in. I am the statistic.
Yeah.
Everyone looks at me and I am the statistic. So I can't do anything about it. Everyone's already accusing me before I even look at it.
Yeah.
Before they've even met me or know me. Before they even have heard the truth or what the truth actually is. And I'd love that peace of mind. I'd love to know the truth. I'd love to find out what happened.
There's something that you have to have in your own mind, though, is that being said, people want to have their thoughts. But, you know, you're not being charged anywhere. All that we're doing is asking questions. At any point in time, you get walk out that door, and we're glad. I know that you're going
There's a moment. There's a moment when all of that happened. And I realized that I was not getting
till after you found that she's missing.
And there was a moment where I felt I couldn't hold myself up anymore. Because it was loss.
Overwhelming.
Tremendously so. And to a point where it was so tremendously overwhelming that it was unforgettable. And whenever I have this, whenever we do this, it brings that moment in. It doesn't matter what you say. It doesn't matter what you do. It brings me to this moment where I am in front of her house, not knowing where she is, or what I can do to help her, or keep her here, or figure out where to go to find her and bring her home. And it was, I had nowhere else to go, no one else to call. No other thoughts, no other opinions. No one else was guiding me. No one was telling me what to do. And even now, I have no one to tell me what to do or what to say.
There's no book. There's no script for this, brother. There isn't. There's no script where you just say, John, this is what you're supposed to do. This is how you're supposed to feel.
I'm currently being told by my wife that I should bring a lawyer to these things, that I should do those things. I'm not doing that because I don't think, first of all, I feel like I've already found myself. If it came down to me needing a lawyer, I've already been here enough without one, that it really doesn't matter what I say. I also know for a fact that I don't have anything that I can say that's going to make it seem like I did something, except for obviously the polygraph situation, which I don't fully understand, and I don't get why that happened or why it's like that. But beyond that, like, I don't have anything I can say. I don't have anything I can do or make you think that I did something, because there is nothing there. There's nothing. And I just...
Let me ask you a question. That being said, do you feel, and I think I know the answer to this, do you want me to keep looking? I told you.
Yes.
That next question, I told you this 2 years ago. It's been 2 years since me and you talked about this. I told you I was going to keep looking.
Yes.
And where we at?
Still looking.
Yes.
Keep going.
Yes.
Don't stop.
I'm not.
And I'm looking you in the eyes just like I did last time. Do it.
I am. That's what I'm here for. I told you I would never stop. That's one thing about me. I can't. I'm too stupid to stop.
And get the right person.
That's why I'm asking you guys. We're asking you to ask questions about, because there's some things only you know.
Okay.
And remember, and be detailed as possible. Describe to me when you get to her car. You put the keys and you put the key and you unlock her car. If it's a key fob, you unlock her car. What did you do? Look, just looking for her phone. Just looking for her phone.
Probably opened her driver's side door and looked inside her console.
Okay. Did you go to the back of the car? I mean, I know you're probably,
No, I really don't think so, but I may have like opened it and looked, but or maybe I did. I don't remember.
okay,
I really don't remember.
okay.
I'm sorry, man.
No,
I really don't.
there's no reason you apologize.
I know,
We're here for the truth.
but I want to get it. I want to give you the truth. I want to give you what I
No,
remember.
I want you to, I'm going to show you a photo.
Yeah.
Of her car.
Yes.
Okay. Now I want you to tell me, these would be pictures of her car, the man side. Now, these are photographs of this on her car, okay? Now, I'm gonna, tell me if that looks like her car to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dirtier than.
You know, you guys are young, and
Yeah.
she's going to school, working 2 jobs, and, you know, yeah, we move it wide. Okay. That's the outcome, shots of the outside of the car. Okay. Now, here's my question to you. Caitlin was about, what, 5'3"?
Mhm.
About 130 pounds, maybe?
Mhm.
Okay. What do you notice about this photograph?
That is far back.
Yeah.
Maybe I moved him when I was looking for the phone to look under the seat, but I don't know. I really don't know.
Okay. Well, look at both seats. Look at, this is the passenger side.
They're both back. So maybe probably like if I move this one, then move that one, and then move them both back to look around. It's very possible.
Well,
but
my question is, you know, I mean, would you have moved those seats? Because I talked to the investigator who took these photographs, and we actually talked to the tow truck driver. He said, we all think the tow truck driver said, he goes, we pulled up on the back, we backed it up, we drug it up on the skid or the back, to the roll back, and we stuck it in the garage, and that was that. He goes, so my question is this, both those seats been moved back like that. Is that alarming to you?
It is, yeah, that's weird. That's very weird.
And this is the back seat, what I'm showing you here.
Right, which is,
I mean, she can't reach those pedals from there.
no, probably not. I would say no.
I mean, that's a big question. That's like, who in the hell's in that car besides her?
Katelyn was 5 feet 3 inches tall. When police found her car, both seats were pushed all the way back, so far back she couldn't reach the pedals. The tow truck driver confirmed he didn't touch the seats. So who drove her car? Someone much taller than Katelyn. Someone like John. He has no explanation.
But I definitely did not move or drive the car.
I mean, now you see why we wanted to come in. I mean, this is trouble.
That's strange.
It is very strange.
But like I said, I didn't move or drive the car at all.
I was going to ask, you mentioned earlier about, and I'm sorry again, I not worked on this case like Paul, so I don't know. You mentioned that you and Katelyn, if there was some tension or something that
It wasn't like a fight, not at all. What it really came down to was Katelyn was a little bit frustrated that I wanted to keep my night going.
Okay.
While she just went to bed.
Okay.
But I basically kind of treated it like she'll get it.
Okay.
You know, and that was the tension. Realistically, it was just that. I was just like, gosh.
So it wasn't like an argument.
I don't know. No. No, like I said, she was just disappointed that she had to be doing school stuff, and here I go hanging out with friends. And
how did the documents thing? How did that?
I basically just got there and was like, "This is all Katelyn's stuff," and and they had a fire pit in the back, but it was like slightly raining. But I was just like, "I'm burning it." I just burned it. I mean, that's really what it came down to.
I see. And she gave those to you before you left.
Again, the tension was there, but she's handing me this stuff. We're still going to Colorado. There is no change there.
Okay.
Like everything is still exactly as
everything going as planned.
Pretty much, yeah.
So I did find something interesting. So there's three episodes of White Collar. Season 2, episode 12, episode 13, episode 14. You said they're about 45 minutes apiece?
Something like that.
Okay. Then later in the day, I guess after you've gotten up, you look at the plot summaries for the same, it's on your computer.
I mean, I don't know why. I didn't look up any plot summaries.
Yeah, I mean, so later in the day, so I'm converting this from the military time, but about 3:17, you look at the plot summary for episode 13, which is the one that you watched the night before, which just like maybe just,
I don't remember doing that. Did I look it up on IMDb? Like I don't normally do that, so I don't know why.
yeah, there is a synopsis, basic plot summary for episode 13.
Okay.
And then plot summary for episode 14. And that bothered me. I'll be honest, that kind of bothered me a little bit because in some of your viewing, it kind of made sense because like maybe you're about to watch episode 10. I'm talking about like before, like a few days before. Mm-hmm. So you looked at a plot summary for episode 9. That kind of makes sense. We all understand that. Like, oh, what happened? But it was weird to me that you would look at like a synopsis for something you just watched a few hours ago.
Yeah, I don't remember doing that. I didn't do that. I slept. I mean, it corroboratingly slept. You can ask my mom. I was asleep.
Well, I can tell you this. Part of your phone records. You made a phone call at, I believe it was 2:24 that day. Not what you call Papa John's, because you're going to the short thing. Okay. There again, you call Papa John's. You also text message Nate Hyden. See when you're back there?
Yeah.
And I think you also text.
Okay.
And it was all prior to 4:30.
Right, and this would have been at about 3:30 or 3:20, somewhere around there. And I'll be honest, John, it was odd to me because I don't normally would look at summary for something that I just watched a few hours before.
Yeah, I again don't know why it pulled up a plot summary, but it could be from me just like clicking back, like exiting out of things, going back or something like that. I mean, that could have easily been why. But I don't generally look at plot summaries even days later. I just watch the previously on thing, which those have. So all of those episodes have previously on white collar. So I don't look up plot summaries. I don't know why that was on there. But maybe again, it's because I had clicked back on it. Maybe there is a missing point where I did like look at my computer, talk to people. I really don't know. And honestly, at a certain point, I just don't have an answer for it.
John claims he accidentally deleted his text messages with Katelyn, but police found that only the messages from the hours before she disappeared were deleted. Everything else, still there. Katelyn's friends said she wanted to end the engagement. She felt trapped. Detectives believed those final texts were a fight, maybe a breakup, and John made sure no one would ever see them.
This is the white collar episodes that we were talking about. And
this is at 3 a.m. or p.m.?
No, this is this is in the morning. So this would be about the computer shows activity at about 1:39, 1:40, and then you watch some episodes of white collar. Okay. And you told me they're about 45 minutes apiece. Okay, so you can see there's like time gaps. And then there's like break-in activity. And then again, yes, like you said, there's whatever you got up.
Probably looked at whatever.
And then sprinkled in there are like these plot summaries.
Okay, so if I was waking up, I probably looked at those were probably part of the, like, either I was clicking out of something or I was going through stuff. I mean, it could have just simply have been an accidental click. It could have been anything, but I wasn't reading clock summaries.
Okay.
They were just either, I was obviously watching it the night before, I got on it the next day, and these things were probably either still up on my computer and I moved around things to get to what I was doing there, or what. I don't know, but I didn't look at it.
You didn't have a break.
No. Just I mean, I do eventually gotta go back to work. So.
Okay. We'll try to hurry this up. Go back to your guys' cell phones, just briefly. Her phone goes dark at 12:06. Never comes back on.
Mm-hmm.
Your cell phone doesn't go dark, what we call it dark. We call it goes in activity at 12:04, and there's no activity for the next 14 to 15 hours. Is that unusual for you to?
No, I don't. Like sometimes, especially at that hour, there's no one texting.
Okay.
There's no one, and I don't look at my phone, especially at that time. I don't even know if I had a Facebook yet. Like, I didn't really look at my phone that often unless I got a text or I got something.
Because we had someone look at the phone numbers back in the past and said that was unusual for you to be receiving a text. Well, I mean, there again, even you at your own admission center, you thought you sent Katelyn a text at 4 in the morning. So, so it was not unusual. It was unusual for you to be that many hours without any messages or phone calls or.
I mean, I was already at the friend's house that I planned on being at, and Katelyn was in bed, as far as I knew.
Have you talked to any of your buddies about what we talked to them about? What we talked to them about? Maybe like Matt.
And I talked to Matt a little bit, but
John, talked to him any? Mike? You go to your party in every street, burn the documents, remember how long at the appointment, then you come back to the house. Mm-hmm. We have information that this is from two different people that I'll tell you the story. Two people were walking down the street, and at approximately between what they say is 1:30 to 2 o'clock in the morning, they see or they hear two cars coming, and they are juveniles at the time, and they're scared to death because they are juveniles. You know how Fairfield PD is with juveniles at that time. It's like 9, and they see two cars pull up, and they hide behind a tree. Some evergreens that were in there. They see two cars pull up, and the two cars lights are blacked out. Mm-hmm. And they see a red Ford Focus pull into the driveway at your residence at the time, right? Mm-hmm. And that was your address at the time, right? Mm-hmm. It was on mom. And they see a darker blue 4-door sedan right behind the Ford Focus. Mm-hmm. The red Ford Focus pulls into the driveway. Garage door opens up. They see the car pull into the garage. Garage door shuts. The blue car stays out on the street.
Okay, no, there's a problem.
Okay.
I didn't hear.
Okay. Let me finish the story then.
Okay.
Blue car stays out on the street. Between 5 and 15 minutes later, garage door pulls back open. Car pulls back out. Both cars are still blacked out, and they go back the same way they coming down West Scioto towards like how, the west side that comes down towards your house. Mm-hmm. And they see the two cars. Mm-hmm. Red car pulls out, the car turns around, and they go the same way they come back out. heading back towards the west side of it, heading towards, that would be what, River Road? Okay. Same story they told. They told they were heading, they were going to a party that night. They were going to a party to meet some girls. And they said they are positive what they seen that night. Now
I can't.
go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I told you the gist of the story.
Yeah. I have my story. That's what happened.
Right.
I did. I don't park in my garage. I parked in the driveway every night. And I would say beyond, didn't have anything to do with that.
And they got a third person backing them up that he took them to the party and picked them up in close proximity to your house. The third person. And they were like, oh shit, that was weird, because they thought they were going to get busted by a Fairfield Police Department. When in doubt, it was a red Ford Focus and a blue four-door sedan.
I don't have anything for you. Those people, I don't know.
Right.
That's not, I told you I did. And where I was at home.
And they were pretty certain about that.
That's what,
The time does match up with the computer. I mean, it's, like you said, that time when I was showing you, the time that these people say that you arrived is consistent.
I didn't go anywhere.
So
I
you got
stayed at
home.
home. I got home and I stayed home. And in fact, my stepdad would wake up ridiculously early to do work. And he got up pretty early that morning to do work. And my car was there in the driveway. Steve and my mom both parked in the garage.
Okay.
And they were both of their cars were in there. I never parked in my garage. So that story is already flawed. On top of the fact that none of that happened. None of it.
Okay.
I went home. I got inside. I watched my shows. I laid down. I went to bed. I mean, that is pretty much what happened as far as I can remember it at this point in this whole situation. And I don't have, you feel free to bring the witnesses in. I don't know what to tell you. There's no more I can prove to you.
They gave statements. They gave statements back. This is not something new.
Okay.
It really isn't. This is something, they did their statements back in the day. Shortly after Peggy's body was found, because they didn't put two together until like they went, shit, that's what we seen that night.
Okay, but I don't know what they saw or who. I can't tell you.
Okay.
There was no blue stand, and no blue stand that could be. I told you.
One of your friends was driving.
As far as I know, though, it was Jeff who drove a blue Ford Focus, but yeah.
Nobody else?
No. And I didn't leave after I went home.
You were home that whole time in the morning.
After the party, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure, yeah.
You're pretty sure?
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, obviously, it's been years down the line.
I understand that, but
I didn't leave. I didn't go drive my car somewhere. No.
Jeff said he was seeing you guys at the festival. I guess he showed up after work. Yeah, I guess you were there for the big drawing at night.
I wanted to try it.
And this is Jeff talking. Yeah, he said hi to you. He said he seemed kind of out of sorts. And he said, I guess he said hi to you, and you say hi back, which is unusual. Jeff said, you guys are, I think you said that core group of guys.
Okay.
And that you didn't say hi to him. He goes, you can tell there was something wrong between you and Katelyn that night. He said, and
She was frustrated, and
to the point, dude. She says to the point. He says to the point, dude, that it looked like they were going to break up. And I was like, damn, that's pretty. I mean, I know some of the people upset that there was tension that night, but to the point of you guys breaking up.
No.
So Caitlin wasn't having any second thoughts about moving to
Not that I'm
Colorado.
aware of, no, not that she had made me aware of. Okay, so as far as like anything like that, if she felt that way or if it seemed that way to him, that's all fine, but I was.
This is his observation.
Yeah, I was not aware of that kind of tension. Caitlin, I remember, was like already just kind of tense and frustrated, but all of that, again, a lot to do with her getting ready for school to be over, for us getting ready to move. And there was just a lot of like things building up around that. And just, but the plan was still the same as far as I knew. Everything was exactly the way it was supposed to be going at that particular time.
Right.
So.
Did Caitlin get frustrated with, I mean, you're now like, you know, the glass blower and, you know, seem to found your way and life and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But at the time, I think you were kind of bouncing around and working as, and she seemed to be, I mean, just my limited experience, she seemed to be really motivated. Very artistic, very driven, working.
Yeah, I think
Was
she
there-
was probably worried that I wasn't going anywhere or doing anything. But at the same time, like, I still had drive.
Mhm.
Still had an ability to get things done. And for the most part, while she was in college, I was helping her through a lot of that stuff. Like, yeah, her dad paid for a lot of her groceries and stuff, but like, I was a part of her life. I helped her through college. It wasn't just, like, I worked off and it kept working.
Mhm.
And it wasn't just the money for me, that was for us. And she knew that.
Yeah, forgive me. I know I'm going over things I know you've probably gone over, but your phone also was something that I knew was examined back then. You deleted text messages between you and Caleb. What was that?
That was an utter and complete horrific accident. The idea was, again, not great with computers. Not at all. And what I had done, the way that the phone worked, I went to just delete a few messages because it said it was going to start deleting all of my messages if I didn't delete some so that I could receive messages. I've been receiving massive amounts of messages about Caitlin, about everything.
Mhm.
So as those started coming in, I started worrying that Caitlin's messages would start to get deleted. So I went through and carefully tried to select each one. And then when I pushed the delete button, it deleted all of them, except for ones that seemed to be like pocket saved or something. I had like a handful of ones left behind, but it almost deleted every other one. Like, and I don't know why. But I had given the phone. They had all of the information. I had not deleted it before I gave it to them the first time. And I really didn't mean to do that. And I know what it looks like.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you.
I'm aware of that. But there's nothing I can do about that. It was a complete and utter accident.
John claims he accidentally deleted his text messages with Caitlin, but police found that only the messages from the hours before she disappeared were deleted. Everything else, still there. Caitlin's friends said she wanted to end the engagement. She felt trapped. Detectives believed those final texts were a fight, maybe a breakup, and John made sure no one would ever see them.
Right. Yeah, again, not knowing the case as well as Paul, that was one of the things that stuck out to me.
I understand that, but at the same time, like I said, they had the phone. There was nothing deleted when they originally had my phone the first time they took it. That was literally that day. They had my phone for hours, and they didn't copy anything. I didn't make that mistake. I made the mistake of accidentally deleting it before they could make a decision to copy everything.
Okay. And it was an accident that you deleted
Absolutely.
Caitlin's message.
Absolutely, because I did want to go back and read them. I did want to see them. I had messages from her going way back.
So you accidentally deleted the whole?
Everything but the ones that pocket dialed saved.
Oh.
I'm telling you, every message was deleted. And then they wanted to come to me and say, well, why weren't these messages deleted? I can't explain why those got saved.
Mhm.
I don't know why. But almost every other message I had was gone. I had, like, you know how it shows the whole screen of messages? I had this many messages at the top of my screen.
Right.
A lot of them got deleted. And I did not do that on purpose. Is there anything else?
Couple more things. When it comes to, I know about Carter and Katelyn. How many people have you taken up with? And on that route to your dad's place out? A handful of people.
Yeah, and like,
The core group of people.
yeah.
I mean, that was probably your special place. Is that a special place for you? And your friends? I mean,
It
your
was
close friends?
fun to go out there, but that's because it was a lack of supervision. It's the only reason we went out there. Nobody was there to watch us smoke pot.
You can understand why that, I mean, obviously you know where Katelyn's remains were found.
I'm aware of it.
And it's out there in Indiana. It also seems to me, again, Paul knows this case a lot better than me. I think the reason why he's asked you about this circle of friends is it doesn't seem that there would be a lot of possibilities of this type of crime, you know.
Outside of like immediate friends.
Outside of a small group of people. And then the body is found in Indiana. That doesn't seem like that would be some random person.
I don't know.
I will tell you
that
this, John.
answer. It's not my job.
All your core group friends I've talked to, I mean, all of them, all said the same thing. Katelyn's not opening up doors for anybody. So, I mean, the whole adage of who then?
Yeah, I don't know.
You know,
I don't know.
that's
And like I said,
what
you asked me my speculation. I told you,
And that's
but
what-
I don't know.
And that's what, I mean, I always wanted to know how you felt even to this day, because sometimes hindsight's 20/20. You know, it's been 12 years.
I just,
You still feel the same way?
but what you're asking me is not just, do I think that somebody I know killed her? You're asking me, do I think my friends killed her?
Yeah.
And how do I answer that?
Truthfully.
I mean, like,
I wanna know deep
but
down.
I don't know who.
Deep down, I want to know what John.
Have you looked into John, who recently killed himself? Because I've always wondered about him, and I don't feel like anybody's ever really done it. I don't understand why, and I don't understand a lot,
I understand.
but I don't know. And I don't know who to point a finger at. I've dug, trust me. But, I mean, how do I get that answer? How do I come to that conclusion? Is it a feeling? I don't know.
I'll take you beyond it. I'll take the feeling, because you are the,
The only feeling I've had, I have a feeling about John for some reason. Don't know why. I've had a feeling about everyone at one point or another. Yeah.
understandable.
And the finger has been pointed to everyone.
Sometimes.
But that's the other thing.
Unfair.
But that's the other thing. I don't have an exact answer. You asked me what my thoughts are. I mean, that I don't know.
Thoughts and feeling. I mean, because I know.
I'm giving you everything I got.
Thoughts one thing, feelings another, something else sometimes.
Yeah.
Because it me,
I've given you everything. And maybe, maybe I'm blurry on my morning before I left for work. But
because even some things.
I didn't go anywhere. I didn't go do anything. And I had nothing to do with Katelyn going missing or not being. That's what I can tell.
Well, I mean, she did go missing, but then they found. So, I mean, it's worse than just missing.
I had nothing to do with her. Do you need me to say that? Because I did not do anything to her, to kill her.
I think that's the first time I ever heard you say that.
I did not kill her. I did not murder her. I did not take her. I did not do anything to threaten her life. I did not have an accident. And to tell you the truth, if ever there were an accident, I would never be able to hold that in. I would not be able to look you in the eye right now. And I can tell you that 100%. I did not do anything to hurt that woman. I loved her and I had a life plan with her. And I was not about to lose that. And the fact that I even managed to get to this part of my life, what I can do now, is something I never thought I could do. I am sorry for the indiscrepancies and the things that you're seeing with my computer, with the phone, with the witnesses who apparently saw me leave a garage that I don't park in. But I can't give you any.
If you see why.
I can see why you're asking the questions.
That's what you
I can see why you're asking the questions because you have to cover everything.
Yes.
But what I am telling you is what I know to be true.
Right.
100%.
Right. Well, and I think we've talked about the stuff that I've looked at that I'm like, oh, that.
So do you feel like I may have even helped in your understanding of it, or do you still feel totally lost?
I think I don't think I'm totally lost. I think you've gone over and given me your explanation. So, I mean, and you helped me understand what I'm seeing. I mean, the text messages still bother me, but you've given me an answer.
Shit out of me too.
You've given me an answer to that. Okay, so I don't. I mean, unless you're not telling me everything, then the answer is what it is, right? I think I'm glad that you've been cooperative. I'm glad you come in and talk with us. There's a lot of things that I'm sure you probably wish you had those text messages so you could say, look, Mike, right here.
Here they all are.
Yeah.
I would totally give them to you. Basically, I would really prefer not to have to do this anymore. Now, I understand if there's some sort of indictment, you're going to have to go to court or something of that nature. Is that likely?
Like I told you on the phone, I think it was the prosecutor's office. I'm a deputy sheriff.
I remember you saying that you would put it in and then they might not do anything for a while.
Because grand juries do what grand juries do. What they do is we present everything we have to them. And it's basically to get it, because none of this there's not even a case number for this at the prosecutor's office. Mm-hmm. So we get it on the record, because if somebody does come in at some point in time, there's no record of shit. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? We get it on the record, but let the grand jury hear all the testimonies that we have. Mm-hmm. And they will either indict, or they do it, or they'll kick it back, or they won't indict nothing. We'll call what's called a no bill, which is meaning the case is still pending till further investigations are done. So that's what happens. Okay. So that's where we're at with this. Like I was telling your fiance or your wife, is that reason why I was kind of pushing for this, because I talked to all your friends. One last time talked to you for this very reason we did what we're here today. I greatly appreciate it, but I have to write up my report of what we found and these last questions that we have, and basically, and I'll write it in my report. I will submit this to the prosecutor, and he will go from there. He'll say either, he doesn't have to present this to the grand jury if he doesn't want to. He can say yes, no, or continue research. So he's the prosecutor.
Oh, and I'm going to say this. Finally, at this point, you may find discrepancy, but you will not find any evidence. And I can promise you that, because I was not involved in Markham's death in any way. I just want to make sure that is.
Or the disposal of her body.
Or the disposal of her body, or anything to do with her disappearance, or anything surrounding the incident that we are discussing today. The only thing I had to do with it was that I loved her and I was in a relationship with her, and that was it. That we were connected. That's it. And beyond that, there's nothing else to find out. And that's what I really want you to be clear on that. Because I can promise you're not going to call me in here, or you're not going to have a grand jury bring me in because of
evidence existing.
You okay?
Yeah.
Comfortable?
Yeah.
Is it started?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think Steve started. Yeah.
Okay, John. Before we get started, we have to read you a reminder of our warnings, okay?
Okay.
So, I think Mr. Regal here, you met Mr. Regal before.
Yes.
So
I
John,
don't need to go on so you can read one, as you can read as these.
yeah.
You got one here somewhere.
Take a look at that one.
And I'm going to read the same thing to you,
Yeah, you
okay?
got one right there for you.
Knowing these rights, do you wish to talk to me without having a lawyer present?
For the time being, yes.
Okay. All right, for the time being.
Okay.
What's happening?
This is what we call, I think you would, and I know you are probably a Avengers fan, but this is what we call the end game. The end game is we went to a grand jury. Your mom testified before the grand jury because we want her to have her say and input in that grand jury, that proceeding. And the grand jury has indicted you.
Why?
Because they feel that there's enough probable cause that this case proceed further to the common police court.
Okay.
So they believe the information that we had, and you've been indicted, and
For what?
murder.
Okay, but what evidence? There's nothing.
You're thinking of there's evidence that's got to be fingerprints.
No, I mean-
there's things called circumstantial evidence.
Okay.
And there's a lot of, and you've already talked about the circumstantial evidence, the red flags, that's circumstantial evidence.
Okay, but I had nothing to do with her death or disappearance or any of that, so.
That being said.
Okay, I'm listening.
We are at the point in time now to where this is where you need to come clean with everything happened that night, because here's the thing, dude, I'm telling you. The whole stories that you've been giving, the inconsistent stories you've been giving them, being the police department, the media, and everybody else since 2011, has come to a point now to where no one's believing the story. Okay, the whole story about the unknown suspect or individual who was at the festival following you and Katelyn to her house. No one's believing that.
Okay.
They didn't believe it when you first come out with it.
Okay, but that was just like a thought. I mean, like you asked me my theories and I gave you my thought, but I don't
You told
know.
no one asked you that question. That's the question you gave to the 911 operator day one. Okay?
Okay.
So that being said,
I thought maybe that could be a possibility, but I'm not saying that's my story. I don't know what the happened. I have no idea what happened. That's not a story I gave you as an excuse or any other thing than just there could have been any reason. And I thought maybe that would be the most likely scenario because it seems unbelievable to me that anyone I know would do that to her.
okay.
But I haven't made any lies. I haven't told you anything that didn't happen. So maybe my stories are different sometimes here and
Sometimes, John,
But there's not.
your story has evolved constantly over the past almost 12 years.
there. Because it's been 12 years.
Yeah, but your story is never the same story twice. That's the best part about all this. It's never the same story twice.
What are you talking about?
All your stories.
What part is inconsistent or different?
You filled out, you remember filling out a form early on, like
Yeah,
shortly,
just writing down everything that I
writing
think
down everything, you talked
Yeah.
about the events of that day, and then
Yes.
it's like, tell us about Katelyn, and you wrote, she is kind, she has a snaggle tooth. You remember that form? That was
Vaguely.
So you wrote down a whole sequence of events from the day before and the day after in August, and you have events that just, like, they couldn't have occurred. Like, they couldn't have occurred, like, you know, about your mom coming back from David's bridal, and you had all of these other things happening, and then you called the police. Like, John, like, I read through it, and I went through it, and I read it, and went back over it, and this is right after it happened.
Okay, can I
Say what you gotta say, brother.
Yeah.
I don't have anything new to tell you. So if we're just gonna sit here and question me,
There's no more questioning.
or expect me to confess to anything, that we're gonna
let me
have
get this
to
out
move
to you, okay?
forward.
Let me tell you what,
Because
this is where I'm
had
gonna tell you
nothing
this.
to do with her death or disappearance, and that's really all I
Right now,
have
as of right
to
now,
say right now.
as of right now, okay, if you want to tell us what really happened that night, I'm willing to listen. The prosecutor is willing to listen. Now, but we don't want to hear no more of this nonsense about this unknown suspect following you guys.
I'm not giving you that. Okay? That's the unknown suspect following me thing. Okay, fine. What I have been telling you and what I've been trying to say is I have no clue what happened to her. What I did,
not buying
what I
that.
said. Okay, then we're done.
I'm fine.
I'm gonna need to get my lawyer.
Yes.
Please.
Okay.
Yes, because you'll be
Can I
going to
please
court.
have a phone call?
Yes, when you get to the jail.
All right. John, it's 4:58 p.m. Okay, I'm going to put down 4:58. Attorney requested.
I can't believe this.
Well, you need to believe it because it's happening right
Yeah,
now.
well, I mean, but what you're doing is like, it's
No, I'm not doing
literally,
anything.
no, what has happened, what has transpired is just, it's unbelievable because I really have nothing to do with any of this. With what you're accusing me of, I have nothing to do with it.
John, look.
I didn't have.
He's invoked.
Yes. Look, you've invoked your rights, okay, at this point, so we really can't go any further. Understand?
Fine.
Okay. So I'm writing it down at 4:58 p.m. And should we stop the interview at this point?
Yes.
Yeah.
In July 2024, John Carter pleaded guilty to involuntary manslaughter, admitting he caused Katelyn Markham's death by physical force. He was sentenced to the maximum penalty, 3 years in prison. 3 years for taking a life, for hiding her body for 2 years, for lying to her family for 12 years. This is John Carter today, serving his sentence at North Central Correctional Institution in Marion, Ohio. In January 2026, after serving just 18 months, Carter requested early release. His defense called him a model inmate, a tutor and mentor to other prisoners. Butler County Prosecutor Mike Moser made Carter an offer. Explain what happened to Katelyn, and he'd consider supporting the release. Carter refused. Judge Dan Hauge denied the request. "We don't get to hit a reset button," the judge said. "We don't get to undo what's been done." To this day, John Carter has never explained how or why Katelyn died. Her family still has no answers, no closure, no justice. Katelyn's father, Dave Markham, stood outside the courtroom in January and said what he's been saying for 14 years. He's been lying and hiding and cheating. He won't take responsibility. It's delusional. John Carter will be released from prison in 2027. Katelyn Markham was 22 years old when she died. She never got to graduate from art school. She never got to move to Colorado. She never got to live the life she dreamed of. And her killer will walk free after serving less than 3 years.